Greetings everybody. In this video I'm discussing the full moon in Aquarius on August the 19th, 2024. Let's start breaking this down step by step because this is one of the more dramatic full moon energies that will be impacting us to the next lunar cycle 2 weeks later with the new moon. A full moon is a release of energies when everything culminates. Anything that's been hidden surfaces. So that's just the full moon. In Aquarius, Aquarius is about freedom, innovation, future goals. All the qualities of Aquarius are going to be so much more enhanced. This full moon is forming called a T-square to Uranus by exact degree. All right. Full moon, the moon is at 27 Aquarius. There's 30 degrees in a sign. Exact opposite is the sun, because when the sun and the moon are opposite, that's the full moon. And the sun is at 27 degrees of Leo. But in the midpoint between the sun and the moon is Uranus, unpredictable, rebellious Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus. So the sun is forming a 90-degree angle to Uranus on one side. The other side where the moon is, it's also forming a 90-degree angle to the Uranus. That's the T-square. So that tension of the full moon gets channeled through Uranus. Uranus is rebellious, revolutionary, unpredictable, shocking. Jupiter and Saturn are squaring each other, which it does every few years. Jupiter expansion, Saturn contraction. Jupiter prosperity, Saturn business. When Jupiter squares Saturn, and it's on the day of the full moon, so that full moon energies for a couple of weeks is also carrying the Jupiter-Saturn square. And often there's this is about economic instability. Jupiter wants to expand, and it just seems like it's dragging out and being held back by Saturn. So with this Jupiter-Saturn square, there's a lot of adjustments going on in everybody's lives. And it could be a lot of economic adjustments or a lot of economic worries. While Mercury, that's the third big piece, is retrograde. Remember, from August the 4th to August the 28th. And with Mercury in retrograde, it's a time of misunderstandings, building mountains out of molehills, delays. So there's all this, a lot of things are in motion and confusing, and this push, this pull. So I look at this full moon, squaring Uranus with a Jupiter-Saturn square at the same time, as a symbol of a dam breaking. Saturn rules structures, and so there could be an earthquake that breaks down structures, but that would cause billions of dollars in damage. And the Jupiter-Saturn could also just be an economic shock on Wall Street. Before I go into more detail of all these important events, all culminating on the full moon, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find direct links to book an astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer. Now, there's another piece with the Jupiter-Saturn square, Venus. Venus is in direct opposition to Saturn, forming a T-square to Jupiter. So we have these two T-squares going on. So there's this non-stop agitation to push forwards. Now, Venus can represent love and finances. And the reason is, in astrology, Venus is associated with Libra and Taurus. Libra is the sign of marriage, relationships, harmony, diplomacy. But Venus also is associated with Taurus. And Taurus is the material sign. Taurus is all about financial security and business. Now, so Venus, let's just look at this with love. Venus is in Virgo. Just looking at the charts here. It's in Virgo, opposite Saturn. So this could also be what's being revealed, and all these structures breaking down, and all these unexpected upsets could be in your relationship. Now, this could be a business partnership relationship because of all the financial energies, but certainly a marriage, because marriages are financial partnerships. And this Venus-Saturn could be triggering these frustrations and delays in a personal relationship, all forming a T-square to Jupiter. What the Jupiter wants to do is two things. If you have a solid foundation in your relationship, the Jupiter is bringing protection, bringing wisdom, bringing growth. So maybe sometimes you have to, when you have a big disagreement, an upset in a close personal relationship, when you finally have to work it all out, it often makes the relationship deeper, closer than ever before. Another point of view of this T-square to Jupiter from that Venus-Saturn is freedom. Jupiter wants to be free, wants to expand. It's being blocked by Saturn. So there's going to be this restlessness, this anxiousness for some of you to want to break free of your relationship. And that could also be a business relationship. And that's all, the whole foundation of that is the full moon in Aquarius, forming the T-square to Uranus, which is all that rebellion and liberation. But Uranus is also pointing to revolutionary changes, looking to the future. The T-square to Jupiter, seeking more freedom. So this is, now when I talk about the dam breaking, there could be a major earthquake, or it's a major earthquake on Wall Street. Some system structure, the Saturn, with the full moon to Uranus, wants, like the Tower card in the Tarot, there wants to be this breaking through old systems, old structures, all types of solid relationships, personal, professional, could be these degrees, especially around that 27 Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and then also Jupiter at 17 Gemini. If these points in the full moon chart trigger your own horoscope and you have a solid foundation financially, career-wise, professionally, or in a personal relationships, if all of that is solid, but yet your horoscope is being triggered, there could be these unexpected upsets, but then it can help the relationship expand and have more growth and succeed more. Or if the foundation is weak and you've all just been ignoring it and putting it off, then the earthquake, whether it's professionally or personally, could like blow. Now, the thing about astrology is, especially with this full moon to Uranus, yes, it's on August the 19th, but it might break, like the dam might break a week or so before or a week or so after. Especially, it could have been over that weekend or into the first several days of that August 19th, 2021. So with astrology, we're just looking at all these different energies with the full moon starting to culminate. But sometimes it releases before the culmination or it releases after the culmination. I'm more inclined to think it's going to happen after the 19th because the full moon and Uranus are all in fixed signs. Leo, Sun, Aquarius, Moon, Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, those are all fixed signs. And fixed signs are very fixated and stubborn and don't like change. So there could be all this pressure for a major change. And when it comes to personal relationships, our egos may be like, let's hold back. Maybe it'll change. I can't react. And that's all those fixed signs. And then it would break later. Could even be with earthquakes or any kind of natural disaster. There could you could be feeling the rumblings or a volcano, especially, okay, it's even better with a volcano because with an earthquake, you never know. With a volcano, that could be spewing gases and fumes, and it's triggering a lot of small earthquakes, and they're telling everybody to get out of town because it could be a major eruption, and it starts to get really serious around the 19th. Let's say the 18th, 19th, 20th. It could be really serious of an impending eruption. That's an example of these energies. Now, this the combined effect of the full moon in Aquarius, which is really trying to help you think out of the box, embrace change, move forwards. But the Jupiter-Saturn is slowing it down, so have patience. There's certainly, you need to be aware to expect the unexpected, expect instability, but if you stay grounded and centered, you can have growth, more slow growth, and not being out of control. So the unpredictability and the disruption of the full moon in Aquarius squaring Uranus can bring sudden change and the need for freedom, which can be exasperated by Mercury in retrograde, causing misunderstandings and delays. The Jupiter-Saturn adds a layer of frustrations as efforts to move forwards with Jupiter are met with resistance and obstacles Saturn. This combination can make it feel like progress is hard to achieve, and with the Mercury in retrograde, it triggers reflection and reevaluation, encouraging looking back, reassessing your plans, which can help you navigate the tensions and disruptions from the other aspects. There's something else going on this day. The full moon is at 27 Aquarius. So there's only 30 degrees in a sign. So soon after the moon moves past 27 degrees of Aquarius, it's going to go to 0 degrees of Pisces. It moves about 1 degree every 2 hours. But when the moon is starting to, at the peak of the full moon, it's then not making any aspects to other planets until it moves into Pisces and starts the whole cycle again. So the moon is going to be void of course from 11:26 a.m., the full moon just peaked just before that, to 3:52 p.m. Pacific time. When the moon is void of course, there's no energy. And so it could very well be that nothing is going to break during the moon void of course. But later, when the energy starts to pick up again. But the moon void of course is, you certainly wouldn't want to be launching any important new projects, because the moon void, of course, the energy is unproductive, plus you're in Mercury in retrograde, and you're in this really unstable, crazy full moon. So you got to wait for all the energies to calm down. But it is advised for resting, for reflecting, because so much is starting to change that you have to process. And if you start bouncing off walls, trying to, make decisions about everything while you're all in, when the volcano is erupting, it's very counterproductive. So I would advise, if it's impacting the world, and it's impacting a lot of individuals, but more individuals are not being directly impacted. Other than they could see if the stock market's crashing. Well, if you have money in the market and your 401k plan, yeah, you'll be impacted, but it may not be a direct hit in your horoscope. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading and look at all of these crazy, unpredictable energies, visit my website at gardino.co, that's .co. Until next time, be safe and well.